All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us on the first of our monthly webinar series. I'm Enoch Mufrikwe, a learning and development practitioner for GeoTab Africa. Now, in today's webinar series, we'll be focusing on the questions and what one needs to consider when choosing a telematics solution. All right. So just a few housekeeping notes before starting with today's series. If you lose connection or unable to finish the session whatsoever, remember to catch the session and more on our YouTube channel. So do not panic if you lose connection. We all aware of the load shedding situation in our country right now. All right. And should you have any questions, please do put them in our chat box or Q&A section, and we will be addressing them towards the end of the presentation today. And any additional questions that you might have while watching the session at a later stage, like a recording from our YouTube channel, this is where you can send your questions to info@geotabafrica.com, and our dedicated team will be ready to assist as quickly as possible. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen the fleet-based industry grow exponentially in the last 10 years, all right? And in different sectors, if you think about it, even sectors where one wouldn't have imagined a fleet would even exist. And with that comes a big need for finding and implementing a good telematic solution to manage your fleet. So we will be having a look at some interesting and important questions that a fleet-based organization would have to ask in order to make the right decisions. Now, at this point, most organizations think finding the lowest price will answer all the questions. But the truth is, the telematic solution deserve a closer look than just a lowest price. So finding a telematics provider requires time and research to find the best fit. And there's nothing worse than locking yourself into a contract or a commitment with the provider only to have a buyer's remorse on the telematics soon after that. Now, in part one of this series, we will consider important questions to ask potential telematics providers, during the buying process. And these questions will help you understand what you're really getting yourself into. Before we ask and answer some top questions, let's quickly discuss the main difference between a pure tracking solution, also known as GPS tracking, versus a telematics solution. GPS tracking, ladies and gentlemen, determines the location of a vehicle using satellite-based navigation. Its basic functionality is limited to location and things like speed tracking. For example, you can only see where your company's trucks or vehicles are located on a map, whereas a telematic system includes a vehicle tracking device installed in a vehicle that generates useful and measurable data. For example, things like your GPS positioning. And over above that, you can see your driver behavior, speeding, harsh cornering, or engine data such as your fuel consumption, even your engine faults within your fleet vehicles. And this data can be then analyzed and worked with, which becomes a key point for a fleet-based business. So this is to ensure that you can rely on real numbers representing the company's work. For example, each month you generate a report showing the fuel consumption of the whole fleet and then comparing it with the fuel dispensing data. And if you see any differences, you can then turn to data on each truck and identify the one from which the fuel identifies signs of, say, for example, fuel theft or high fuel consumption in this case. And this then allows fleet managers or supervisors to then take the necessary measures. So all in all, unlike a GPS tracker, telematics can turn your fleet from a range of separate vehicles into an organized system working towards common goals. So let's quickly have a look at some top questions that we will be breaking down in the session that you can ask yourself when selecting a telematics solution. Number one, is the potential telematics partner technology ready? Is there software flexibility? Does the system have thorough reporting and graphics? Can you get real-time alerts and notifications? Is the system itself usable? Is it user-friendly? Can one pool historical data? And is this data easily understood? Does the system have a mobile application? So the more question that each one of us can have at this point, with having found a system that answered yes to all the mentioned questions means that you are headed in the right direction to find the best solution for your fleet. Now, the opening question is by far one of the most important to ask when you have to choose which telematics solution to go for. All right. Is the potential telematics partner technology ready? So, without a doubt, we are all aware of the speed of technology around us, and most especially in the auto industry. So, if your fleet is vehicle based, why go for a fleet solution that potentially will be left behind in future? All right. So, a telematics in this case must show or have already taken a few future technology developments. All right. And Geotab's solution is ahead of the game when it comes to the question in mind. Already offering clients electric-based solutions like identifying vehicles most suitable for changing to EV, based on day-to-day activities, the remaining range on battery life, for example, and things like when last was the charge on the vehicles. And the Active Insights feature is also a pro technology indication from the solution where the system's AI can guide users on best possible changes or additions to the system and its fleet. Organizations can consider the following points when dealing with this point. Will the telematics partner aid you in future proofing your fleet? Okay. Will it make sure that the fleet that you're using is sort of streamlined with the technological age at that point in time? And then number two, is there an AI driven platform for connected fleet management? We have so many solutions when it comes to managing our fleet. Having a platform that uses AI to interact and bring all or most of these solutions into one place is then one of the greatest solutions to have. So another point to consider is over the air updates, things like software and firmware. Do you have to take your physical vehicles to your supplier or to the telematic solution in order for updating? Do you have to do reinstallations? This is where, when it comes to Geotab's platform, over the air updates ensure convenience and identifies the direction when it comes to being pro technology or technology proofing your fleet. All right. And then here, the big picture that we are looking at when it comes to software flexibility. Is there software flexibility when it comes to a telematic solution? The big picture that we're looking at is whether the telematic solution has the ability to enhance after implementation. Okay, what if you have to spend your precious time just in learning a new operating system or a new language? If the system does not support multiple languages or is not platform independent, then the user interacting with it has to suffer a lot. And the system should be flexible enough to run on different platforms. Okay, open for all kinds of customizations and also supports multiple languages. So Geotab's telematic solution can easily adjust with your company's transformation and development. With the use of the hardware expandability and the marketplace, organizations such as yours can integrate other devices like cameras, panic buttons or door switch monitors, just to name a few, on one single platform. Using different business solutions that work great on their own is great, but it's even better when they can work together. And Geotab is basically a connected world where many types of technologies can communicate to streamline operations for businesses. The opposite of this, ladies and gentlemen, can be time consuming, let alone be costly to the entire organization. So Geotab's platform has more than 13 international languages, or recognized languages rather, that can be easily changed between one language to the other. And more interesting is users on the same database can independently do so without affecting other users' language preferences on the system itself. Does the system have thorough reporting and graphics? That is an interesting thing to consider. All right. At this point, this is where one needs to take a look at the fact that it's not only about the collection of the data. When it comes to the reporting, is it done so taking into consideration the users who will be then engaging with the platform itself? Today, Telematics Solutions provide much more than real-time tracking. All right. The system is the best solution based on how it helps your business in analytics. Okay. The software recommended must show actual business growth through reports, charts, and it must help in taking favorable decisions for future decisions as well. So, how does your chosen telematics solution then convert your data into insights? A good telematics at this point um, should not only provide you with actual fleet data, but to some level, it should also bridge the gap by providing you with insight. Think ahead, if you may call it. So, all the data collected should be presented in an easily understandable manner. With Geotab dashboard graphs, all the reports are displayed graphically and well organized according to your priority of the reports. All right. So, this is also where users creating these customized reports can also control access to the information, who gets to see the reports and who does not get to see them. All right. The system send real-time alerts and notifications. Now, I know that at this point, this is one of those questions that one would assume or think that it is a standard or basic standard. The system alerts and notifications are a convenient way to deliver crucial information about the fleet or other things. Thus, the maximum number of events the system allows you to get notified on, the more efficient it becomes for management of the fleet with fewer efforts. Most fleet telematics solutions have failed to create value as the focus has been largely on the collection of information alone. Such solutions require someone to run reports, right? Analyze them and understand them before taking corrective actions. That's time consuming. Why not have a solution that actually will do all that for you? So this results in delayed feedback to drivers, and in most instances becomes reduced to just knowing where vehicles in a fleet are, meaning dots on a map. Automatic notifications and alerts on Geotab facilitates information to, to be reviewed at the right time, in the right place, and by the right person for improved services. So Geotab allows for, if you see a improved asset utilization, it will aid and assist organizations such as yours to save on costs, improved employee and workforce safety. Now, this can be easily seen through our driver safety scorecard, okay? And it will also then, we can see it will aid in a better managed assets and business overall, and driver safety behavior can be corrected as it happens, reducing chances of accidents and improved admin processes. System usability, ladies and gentlemen, is basically how the user gets to interact with the platform itself. How is the holistic experience? All right. So this is how the user gets the main insights easily, and not only that, effortlessly. The system should be user-friendly and provide every essential information with ease. For example, on the GeoTabs dashboard, this is where you know that all reports will be identifying things like your maintenance status, your fuel consumption statuses, as well as live location, just to name a few, even distance insights, and things to also consider is, are you as the user able to retrieve insights easily and also understand those insights? So here it is clearly evident that as users, it's not only about the information that is being collected and provided, but it's also how we then get to interact with the system and understanding of the data being provided by the system itself. The use of laptops and other gadgets used to access the data should be a walk in the park, okay? Useful constant reviews and high consumer or customer consideration has resulted in GeoTab Solution being one of the most user-friendly platforms in the fleet telematics industry, and also making it #1 in terms of global service when it comes to a fleet solution base. Can you pull historical data? So most organizations are under the impression that the ability to access historical data from a telematics solution is a minimum standard. If you want to compare tracking data, for example, for 2 years, for that, you need historical tracking data. And for those 2 years, get the system that not only stores the data, but also allows you to store the same for future needs as well as your management decisions, okay? The fleet managers can also review trip playbacks from their vehicles whenever needed. I mean, for example, this is where we've seen with investigations, historical data or access to historical data coming in and assisting greatly. GeoTab provides clients with access to at least 2 years of historical data. Should the data then be purged, the options will be made available to clients to store the archived data locally on clients' premises. So what does this mean all in all for you? For management decisions, clients can track back and compare data in order to determine if they are on the right track, or what best measures can be put in place moving on forward. Okay. And then the next question is relating to technology. And again, I emphasize on the point where we are all familiar with the speed, the direction that technology is pushing each and every one of us. So telematics has become an essential part of fleet management that used to increase efficiency, and not only that, but also safety. So in today's time, if you need to open your laptop or PC to access the tracking data, then you should definitely find another alternative. The core functions of the system itself should be available in application mode, allowing fleet managers to get all the necessary information on their smartphones. I mean, we all carry our smartphones wherever we are. So why not have the convenience to access such information with you at all times? All right. And here we can see that a laptop isn't always the most convenient device. And then another point to consider, is there an optimized mobile device that operates the core functions of the system? Visibility at your demand would be made possible through the use of applications, and it would also allow streamlining your ELD compliances, all right? Your inspections, driver identification functions, all this should be a standard when it comes to your telematics solutions, all right? Now, the GeoTab app allows fleet-based companies a well-responsive platform allowing for things like, push notifications and instant alerts. This level of innovation, ladies and gentlemen, and pro technology streamlines your organizational goals with a company that is ready for what the future holds in store for your company as it continuously develops, as it continuously grows. Right. So basically, with all then the question that we have brought forward based on a short study that was conducted, this is where then one gets to understand that once you find a fleet solution that answered yes to all the questions that we brought forward, then that means that the company is headed in the right direction. All right. And we've jotted down here a few questions that also came through. Does the potential partner offer training and support? So with GeoTab, basically training, definitely we have qualified system trainers in-house to provide you guys not only on training or basic training, but to customize training to offer you then a answering solution to your day-to-day needs. And in terms of the support, the dedicated support team is also already available. We also have a 24-hour call center emergency number or department that is also then ready to assist in this case. All right. How easy is the hardware installation? So with GeoTab, we currently using the Go 9, which is our latest technology. It's a plug and play solution, meaning convenience at its utmost nature. All right. Can the supplier accommodate diverse fleets with diverse assets? Straight answer for this one is yes. With GeoTab, we are catering basically to different sectors, from the mining industry to the farming industry, your logistics industry, just to name a few. And for this one, for more information also, then you can find all the different sectors that we are catering to globally. All right. Now, I think those are the three questions that we have from this one. Just checking if we have any other questions that were in the question and Q&A. Right, so we don't have any questions furthermore, but do remember, guys, as you watch this recording at a later stage, this is where you're going to have more and more questions. Drop them there on info@geotabafrica.com. And like I said earlier on, this is where our dedicated support team is always ready to assist you. And while you're at it, check out our revamped website. Go to geotabafrica.com for inside more exciting and what the future holds in store for your growing company and what GeoTab is intending to do, as it is a pro technology ready fleet solution. All right, before I leave, let's open the mics. Any questions from your side, guys? All right, I see that Garen has a question. Give me 1 second. Right. Yes, I can see your hand, Gary.
Hi, how are you doing? Thanks for this.
All is well. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to find out, maybe you can speak about route optimization and what GeoTab has to offer on that. So where you've got a set point of points that you've got to get to in a particular day, and how you can find the best route to get there, and how does it measure them, and what visibility it gives initially, and how at the end of the day you can record how they did against the set plan.
100%. So regarding that, Gary, this is where there is your route planning features on the system, where you can lay out a route with your route points. And with that being said, you can then start tracking movement, you can track productivity, as they are busy with the trips. And with regards to that, this is where you can also get then create your zoning around the routes to ensure that as soon as, for example, your driver's exiting those zone routes that you've created the zones, then you can start getting alerts. All right. So there is features that I've been put in place to sort of assist when it comes to routing, and the system using its how do I put it, using its AI, then also provides you with optimized routes based on the laid out plan that you have, giving you the best possible routes to save on things like fuel, and then further on, this is where you can start monitoring your driver behavior. All right.
Yeah, so would this allow for APIs to be plugged into it so that you could, on a daily basis, send them a whole lot of delivery points and then measure them at the end of the day, how they did against that? And then does it give the driver the best route to go throughout the day? And so when you do your planning in the morning, you can actually see it's not possible to go based on historical traffic information, or, is there a module that does this, or not really?
100%. That's a very interesting question. So with regards to the apps that GeoTab is using, we have the My GeoTab app, which is the one that allows for fleet management, all right, in the office. And then we also then have your driver app that allows then for drivers to receive, say, for example, you have planned out a certain route and then you can send it onto the GeoTab Drive app, and then they can accept it on their site. And with that being said, also, this is where they can do inspections, right? Now, with that platform, this is where then it allows for you to, as you said, go back and monitor to check if these are optimized routes that the drivers can use, and how do we then move forward as an organization. Regarding the part where you mentioned things like your traffic, so the platform, which is My GeoTab for management, it allows then also, as you're planning your routes, you can also then identify your basic traffic information, like on Google Maps, which shows you what is the traffic situation looking like, so that you can then also then start maybe rerouting to change to avoid congested areas for your drivers. All right.
Great. Okay. I'll send you guys an email, and maybe we could just do a demo of the system and how it operates.
Lovely. I love the sound of that. Remember that with the support team, they'll be ready to sort of customize it to your needs and see what solutions will work best for you. As mentioned, the training department also, we use customization in terms of training, because we all know that it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. All right. Thank you very much, Gary, for the two interesting questions. All right, guys, before we end the session, any other questions that we might have? Okay, I will take it like no questions for now. All right, guys, from my side, thank you very much for joining us. And again, deeply apologize for the technical error that we experienced earlier on. And thank you very much. I hope then to see you on our next session. All right.